Black Phone 2 is directed once again by Scott Derrickson, and it stars Ethan Hawke. Well, actually, it just, yeah, pretty much all the actors from the first movie, all the main actors from the first movie have reprised their roles, came back in this second one, in this sequel. Now, the first Black Phone movie, I think I. It's funny because it's 2021. I think I want to say the first. I'm pretty I'm very positive that the first Black Phone movie came out in 2021, not 2022. So I think like Scott Derrickson was like, I guess he was thinking about coming back to Marvel and working on Doctor Strange 2 Multiverse of Madness, but he had his own vision, and I guess he left Marvel due to creative differences. Um, Due to creative differences, and they got Sam Raimi, and we got that fucking mess, Multiverse of Madness, and so Scott Derrickson stepped away from Doctor Strange 2, and he entered, and he made this film instead. He developed and made this film instead. Not this film, Black Phone 2. I'm talking about the first Black Phone, the Black Phone. Um, so yeah, the Black Phone. I remember I watched that movie late night, like opening weekend. It was like 7 p.m. It was the audience was packed. All I remember was like everyone. The whole room was packed, and I remember like we were all like having a great fun time watching the movie. I 100% do remember the projector, was the projector cut like in the middle of like the first act. In the first act, like after the first act, like the projector cut, and it took a while. It took like maybe 5 minutes. I would say like 3 to 5 minutes for the movie to like resume. Like, but anyway, yeah, I do remember the Black Phone, the first Black Phone, and Scott Derrickson did a great job. I'm glad he didn't direct Multiverse of Madness because that was such a messy movie. Um, but we got, but he made the Black Phone instead with Ethan Hawke, and that movie was just great. I really enjoyed the Black Phone, the first Black Phone, and it was something, I thought it was just going to be like a I didn't know it was like a supernatural movie. I thought it was just going to be like a straightforward, like kidnapping, like low budget kidnapping movie, but no, there's like something supernatural. There's something supernatural like near, like throughout the film. There's some supernatural presence in the film as well, especially when it comes to, Finn, the character of Finn, talking, picking up the phone and talking to like the deceased on the other line, on the other side, and also his sister getting like these visions that was passed down from her mother. So yeah, like you can so yeah, like there is supernatural in the first Black Phone, and yeah, so when I heard that they were making, Black Phone 2, when this movie was announced, I was like, really? I'm not so sure. I was cautious. I was very, very cautious because, like, the first Black Phone, yes, it was like, I don't even know, like an hour 45, like maybe not even like 2 hours. I feel like it might have been like 2 hours 45, like not 2 hours 45, 1 hour and 45 minutes to like 55, 52 minutes. Um, I felt like that was like the one time of the first film, but like the first film didn't really, explore and expand, you know, the, the lore and all the characters within this film. I know it's based on like a short story, but yeah, like, and then, Black Phone 2, here we are. I'm not so sure because, like, I was cautious. I was like, oh God, please, like, it might be like terrible or something. But guys, Black Phone 2 is actually really good. It's really good. It's not, I mean, the first Black Phone movie, I thought the pacing in the first Black Phone movie was very strong. I was entertained and I was awake. In this film, I will say, especially in the first act of the film, and I felt it like not even the first act, but well, especially the first act, but like throughout the film, like the whole film entirely, I felt like the pacing was, it was dragging. It was, it was slow. It was slowed down at a couple points within the film, but it's not. This isn't like a bad movie. Like this wasn't a bad movie, but I will say like I did almost like I almost it was very tiresome. It was very tiresome, but but it's still a good movie. The ending of this film, no spoilers, but the ending of this film, um I was not expecting to cry. Well, I didn't cry, but my eyes did get a little teared up and mistied. It was a very, sad and tragic ending. That's all I'm gonna say, but I'm glad that that happened. But yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, like it's been 3 years, and like these actors, like Mason Thames and Madeline McGraw, like both of them, like it's three. They're 3 years older. They're 3 years older, and they sound the same, but they look so much different. Well, I will say their voices are deep, but there's still that child. There's still that personality and behavior from the first from the first Black Phone movie, especially the sister. But yeah, it's good to see them, and I will say both of them did such extraordinary, gave such extraordinary performances as these two young actors who play brother and sister in this film, and they've improved their, Finney is dealing with, he's still haunted and dealing with the aftermath of, his escape and rescue from the first Black Phone movie. Um, and, Madeline, her, the sister, Gwen, I want to say, yeah, the sister's name is Gwen, Madeline's character. She's having even more and more visions in this film. um and it seems like it's developing, like her visions are starting to develop. And if there's a third film, and if they make a Black Phone 3, at this point I'm not against it. So far 2 out of 2, two big thumbs up. Scott Derrickson knocked it out. Scott Derrickson and Joe Hill, who the short story was based on his story, Joe. If all the writers and producers and everyone involved want to make a third film, I'm not against it, because there's so much that you can conclude. You can conclude and really drive this movie, give this trilogy a happy, give this trilogy not a happy ending. Give this trilogy, nail it, nail it right on its head, and just aim for it. Um, but yeah, um, like I said, like the pacing is a bit. There are a lot of moments. Fuck that. There are a lot of moments in this movie that the pacing was a bit, sluggish than the first film. Like the first film, I was not bored. Like I was right there from the beginning to the end. Here, I was like, I find myself like sort of like zoning out, and like coming back in, like in and out of consciousness or something. But yeah, I do love Scott Derrickson's his editing style. Like he from what he brought from the first film, he brought it to this movie. Especially when it comes to Gwen's the sisters' visions. Like what a unique way to like enter like the dream, like this dream world, this the her vision world, you know. Um, like that editing like that editing and that old school like cigarette burn cinema footage, found footage documentary type of feeling. That's such a what a great way to like distinguish that and really execute that in this film. um but yeah, even though I will say this, if you love Ethan Hawke, as if you are a big Ethan Hawke fan, I will say this movie this is not a a fault or anything like that. This movie really does the first film the first film is really all about Finney, is really all about Finn. This film, even though the trailers are marketing like it's Finn, versus, the grabber, Ethan Hawke's character, round two or, round two or, revenge or something like that, even though it's marketed like that, this film is actually focuses, or the story really focuses on the sister and her visions. Like, the grabber is trying to get his revenge on Finney by attacking his sister, Gwen. So Gwen does play a very main and pivotal and primary role in this film. This film really focuses on her character, Gwen. Um, but yeah, the father, the father is there. The father is in the background. Um, Finn is just Finney. Finn is just a supporting character in this film. Just giving you guys a heads up. Just giving you guys a disclaimer. And there's like this new character in this movie. I don't know. Listen, I don't know how long. I only saw this movie once, and I don't know how long she knows this. This new character in this film. There's a new character in this film. I won't give away any description or any details because of spoilers, but there's a new character that is, I guess, kind of has a crush on Gwen. He has a crush on Gwen, and I think she likes him as well. But like the romance and the relationship, I mean, he's a good guy, but I just wasn't feeling the romance. I just because the movie was so focused on her and her visions and you know Finn and the grabber and all that. I just there was just a tiny pinch of any romance. I just no, I wasn't really feeling it. I was like, okay, whatever. I guess they're a couple now. You guys know what I'm talking about if you've seen the movie already. Um, but yeah, yeah. Now listen, guys. I know this movie came out last weekend, but let me give you guys. I just want to tell you guys something. These past 2 weeks, I not even these past 2 weeks, these past 2 months, I have been very busy. Ever since college, reopened, I went back to college, and now I'm studying. I'm, taking my courses. I'm taking my classes and studying like a madman. I'm putting movies and like YouTube aside, my YouTube channel aside, so I can just focus on my education and just making sure I do my best when it comes to taking these exams and taking these classes. Everything for education. Education first, YouTube and entertainment and everything like that comes later. Plus, this month, October, it's Halloween. So I was like, I kept checking my movie theater, my local movie theater. Like, are there any good, like, scary horror movies out? I'm like, the last movie I saw in theaters was The Conjuring: Last Rites, which I thought was mixed, which I thought, could have done better. They could have stuck the landing a lot better. I rather watch, to be honest with you, I'd rather watch Black Phone 2 over The Conjuring: Last Rites. But that movie made a shitload of money at the box office. So The Conjuring, I mean. But this movie did make a good amount of money at the box office, as well, from what I know. All right. Um, so yeah, so apologies, sorry guys that I was unable, and sorry guys that I have been so inactive when it comes to my YouTube channel. But yeah, it's just it's as simple as that, college education. We have to go through it, and we have to go through it, and we have to pass, and just do our very best. So that explains why I haven't gone to the movie theaters. So but I will try to get back into going back into movie theaters as soon as I'm finished with all this school, college, classes. As soon as I'm finished with my classes and my exams and all that, I will get back into my regular programming. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I have to say for Black Phone 2. Um, if you are a big, but yeah, if you are a big fan of Ethan Hawke, um, I will say he's not, even though like he's like his name is and his mask is on, his grabber mask is on the poster. He's not really in the movie that much. Probably a couple scenes, like vision scenes, nightmare scenes, but that's pretty much it. The rest is just only, well, focusing really on Gwen's character, the sister and Finn. Yeah, her. They're dealing with the aftermath from the first film. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. Thank you so much, everyone, for taking time to listening to my review, my thoughts on Black Phone 2. Please like and subscribe. Definitely subscribe. Because that would help me and my YouTube channel out a lot. Thank you guys so much for your support. You guys are awesome. I love you guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Peace.